How's it going, everybody? My name's Luke C. Marcotte. Welcome back to the Blue Collar Power Hour. First off, I would like to apologize for our absence in the YouTube and Instagram community here with the podcast and our videos.
We're sorry.
I'm pleased to announce that we are going to be getting back on schedule of Tuesdays with our podcast and Thursdays with our video. And I would like to apologize for that. I've just been so busy the past month that it is not even comprehensible to most people. I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition.
This is how a one-legged man wins an ass-kicking competition.
This is very important to me, as I know it is very important to a lot of you. A lot of you have been reaching out saying, hey, when's the next one coming out? So I do apologize for that, but we're here, we're back better than ever, and we're going to keep on trucking forward. And today we're going to talk about ownership. Ownership is a huge thing. I think I had mentioned in a past video that you want to read the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. It is a very, very important book. I believe everybody should read it. And it is a huge lesson learned to people of where you need to stop putting the blame on others. I teach this excruciatingly painfully to everybody on the team, so that way they know that they need to create ownership for themselves instead of putting the blame game on other people if they want to move up. We grow extremely fast, so our whole purpose here is to help people move up the ladder and find their better life, better income, better families, and just better all around. And so ownership comes down to saying, I'm sorry, it's my fault, I will fix it, it's not going to happen again. The blame game, which everybody seems to love to play, is when you're like, oh, I didn't tell him to do that. Oh, he just did it on his own. Oh, this, oh, that. Well, guess what? If you're an apprentice and you're new in the position, you got to try and do everything you can to do the best you can. And you know, sometimes if you're the apprentice, you have to go around and you have to ask a lot of questions. In fact, most times you have to ask a lot of questions. And so if you mess something up, that could be your problem. You need to own that because you didn't ask questions on how it should be done. Now, you should also take the initiative to try and do it on your own as well. But also, as the leader of that apprentice, the journeyman, you want to make sure that you are creating ownership in yourself, because when that apprentice messes something up, you have to be the one that says, I'm sorry, it was my fault. I was in control of him. I was in charge of him. I was supposed to be teaching him. I should have laid it out better for him. Even though it may not have been directly your fault, you have to take it on as your fault and make sure it doesn't happen again. You have to do a better job of it, because if you always blame it on everybody else, guess what? You're fucked, because you can never fix that. You are forever never going to be able to create a better life for you or that apprentice, or move up or move forward or anything like that. It's always somebody else's problem, and it's just done, it's said, you can't do anything about it. However, if you take ownership of the situation, you say, I'm sorry, it's my fault, it won't happen again, well then guess what? That's great, because you now have the power to change the outcome. You now have the power to change the situation and the trajectory of not only your own life, but that apprentice's life and anybody else on your job. So ownership is extremely, extremely important, and it happens on every level. Everybody has to own the mistakes for them and those around them. And for instance, we had a new foreman start a couple months ago, and when he would mess up something, or his apprentice would mess something up, he would say, hey, I didn't tell him to do that. It's not my problem. And I would tell him, I'm like, listen here, that shit don't fly here. If you want to move forward, you want to move up, you want to become better all around, you have to take ownership of it. And a couple days ago, I was so proud of something. I showed up at a job, things were not done the way that we normally do them. I took some pictures and I was sending them to them, and I was saying, hey, let's not do this again. This cannot be done like this. And it was all legal, but it just was not done to the quality standards that we have. And so then we're going forward, and he said, I'm sorry, it's my fault, and it will not happen again. And I was so proud at that moment. I was like, dude, this guy is getting it. And this guy's going to be a champion. I don't care that he messed up. Sure, it cost the company some money. Sure, it wasted a lot of time. But guess what? He's going to fix it, and he knows to do better next time. And I took that ownership as well, because I should have laid out a more better schedule for them. I should have laid out the parts better. I should have told them exactly how we need things done, because this is a newer foreman. So then guess what? He needs to know how we do things, because we're always a step above the rest. And so it was my fault, but also it was his fault. And guess what? It was also the apprentice's fault, because he was messing up on some certain things as well. But everybody took ownership of it. And now on this next job, I guarantee you we are going to kick ass. We are going to do it twice as fast, twice the quality, and we're going to continue getting better each and every time. For you electrical contractors, plumbing contractors, anybody that's a contractor out there, or the boss, or the foreman, it is very, very common across the trades platform that you don't take ownership of anything. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, hey, nobody wants to work. Really? Is it that, or is that you just don't provide any opportunity to these people? No growth potential, no inspiration? Or do you tell them, hey, come into this company, work your balls off for shitty money, sit down, shut the fuck up and live your life? Who wants to do that? I got to tell you, I have more applications for employment than I can even physically call back. And it's from great electricians. We have always the cream of the crop, and even if they aren't the cream of the crop, they always seem to turn into the cream of the crop while we're here because we provide those opportunities. And so if you're always saying, nobody wants to work anymore, nobody wants to do this or that, nobody wants to work hard, well, you're fucked then. Might as well give up, throw in the towel. You ain't got nowhere to go. If nobody wants to do that, you have no potential. You have no growth potential. Everything is not your problem, not your fault, so there's nothing you can fix. Guess what? If you take that as an ownership and you say, hey, maybe I can fix this. Maybe there's something I can do different. Maybe it's out of the ordinary. Maybe it's not how I've always done things, but guess what? It's something different, but it works. Oh, boom, now you're onto something. Now you at least have the power in your control and you can bend that back and you can move forward with it. It's up to you. The reins are in you. You're in the saddle now. You can actually control it. So you have to take ownership of every aspect of your life, and taking out of the work context, even at home. If you have problems with your relationship, if you have a problem with your finances, you must take ownership of it. You can't sit there and be like, oh, the credit card company's fucking me, oh, the fucking bank's fucking me, or this guy that loaned me money is trying to get money back from me, or the supply houses, things of that. Listen, we've all been there, all right? We've all had a bad day. But guess what? Are you going to sit there and say, oh, they're the ones fucking me? Or are they the ones that took the chance on you and you're the one that failed them? And so now you must do something different to do it better, to get back to them and provide them the service they deserve for providing you a service. And same thing with your relationships. If your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is not happy with who you are because you want to come home after work and you want to just sit your ass on the couch and you want to call it a life, call it a night, and you just want to sit there and drink beer and not talk and just watch TV, well, that's not going to be that great. If they like to go out and they want to go for a walk or take the dog for a walk or sit there and talk about their day, well, you know what? You can say, you know what? It's not what I want to do, but our relationship's falling apart. Same thing. You got to take ownership. Man, I've been letting her down. I've been letting him down because it's not, even though it's not what I want to do, I need to do better now because I'm the reason that this is failing because I know I can do better. And so you have to turn the tables and take ownership in everything you do so that way your life can get better. If you're perfectly happy with how your life is and everything's perfect and just a harmony, you're not real. It doesn't happen. People are always bettering themselves. They're always trying to become better and more. And so this is always something you have to learn and take advantage of. And the great thing is you have the ability to take ownership. Imagine if you didn't have that ability and now you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, everything is fucked. And you can do nothing about it. None of it's your fault, none of it's your problem. And your life is just in shambles. It is terrible and there's nothing that can be done about it. Well, that is not a fair life. Guess what? This life is more fair than most people think, and you have at least the opportunity for ownership. Now you just have to turn the tables, take it on, put it on your shoulders, do the extra work, go the extra mile, and make it happen. And I promise you, if you do this, your life will start turning around slowly but surely. It'll not be immediate. Just because you do it once, twice, a week, 2 months, it's not going to change everything. It'll slowly turn and change. And guess what? It's not just a small short-term thing. You have to do this throughout your entire existence. The second you pull your foot off that gas, the second it's going to start slowing down. Where your life is right now is a direct representation of what you were doing 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Now, if you do that 3 to 6 months starting now, 3 to 6 months from now, your life will be what it's like, what you're working for right now. Now, you have to realize that's investing for the future. But the second you take your foot off, your life might be great for the next 3 months, 6 months, but then it's going to be down in the shitter again. You're going to wonder what's wrong. Your habits have gone to shit. You just have to make sure you take ownership in everything you do with your work, your relationships, your finances, and every aspect of your life. And so the big thing with ownership as well is that the more that you don't take ownership, the easier it is to write it off as it's not your problem. It becomes a habit, and habits are super important with any aspect of your life. If you get into the habit of eating bad, it's going to be easier to eat bad and you're going to get fat. If you get in the habit of working out and being fit and eating healthy, it's going to become easier over time because it's becoming a habit, a routine. Same thing with ownership. If you have a bad routine of ownership where you do not take it ever and ever and ever, it's going to be so hard to start again. It always is. And guess what? As soon as you start, it's going to get a little easier and a little easier and a little easier, and it's going to keep on going. But you always have to keep it rolling, because if you stop, the momentum slows down and you're going to be back in the rut you were before. Now, same thing with ownership. You start doing it and you keep on going easier, and it gets easier and it gets easier, and you're at the top. Your things are going great. It's going to be hard to switch back to not taking ownership because you realize that this is such a routine of your life now. But you know, it always comes down to sometimes one day you just don't have the time for it. Something terrible happens. You got to save your own ass, something like that. And so then it puts you back down in there. Well, then the next day you're like, ugh, well, I did it yesterday. It's not going to be a problem today. And it's just going to slowly be a downturn from there. So you got to make sure that you always build that momentum and you continue building on it. Don't let it slow down. And it's always a constant fight. Everybody wants to talk about a life where it's perfect peace and harmony, where they exert no effort for it. That's not life. That's not how things work, and it's not how things should work. Get that out of your mind. Don't hate the game, learn to play the game. An opportunity comes in all forms and shapes, and it definitely comes from taking ownership. And it's the only way you'll be able to progress, move forward, move up. And regarding the tool giveaway we just completed, if you're not aware of, on my Instagram page, which will be linked below, we actually gave away a Milwaukee hammer drill and impact set. And the lucky winner was Joey Neves, if it's pronounced right, from New Jersey. And it was the perfect person I wanted to go to, because this is a guy who's straight out of the military. He actually DM'd me a couple months ago asking a little advice about getting started in an electrical apprenticeship. Said he was getting out of the military, wanted to transition to this, so I gave him a few pointers and tips and told him to go check out our videos. And he kept on DMing me, which a lot of you guys do, and I do appreciate. And so when I chose this guy and I had sent him the information that he had won and asked for his shipping information, he was ecstatic. But I was also ecstatic because I seen that he had put in the initiative beforehand, and he was already getting his first apprenticeship lined up within the following week. So it's perfect timing for everybody. And so if you want a chance to enter any more of these giveaways we're going to do, which we're going to be doing more often now, make sure you follow my Instagram with the link in the bio below. And so the majority of our tools we're going to give away is going to be Milwaukee equipment. Now, I'm not getting paid to say that yet. But as you can tell, we're wearing some nice Milwaukee shirts and hats. Milwaukee is gracious enough to send us some stuff, so I very much appreciate it and thank you. Our guys on the job site absolutely love these Milwaukee work skin shirts. They're like the perfect combination of work and play shirts. They feel comfortable. They are great. These hats are flex fit hats. They feel amazing, and you know, they're just awesome. So if you're looking for new work shirts, I highly recommend the Milwaukee Work Skin. These are by far the most amazing shirts I've ever worked in. Same thing with my guys. They actually, they only got 2 each, and so they are actually wearing the same ones all week long. They do wash them, thankfully. But we are definitely going to be ordering some for our company shirts now. They are just absolutely amazing, so I highly recommend them. They have nice breathable pockets down below. They are just wick sweat, and they just keep you cool throughout the day, and they're very tough as well. So one thing, you know, you either get a tough shirt that's very, very hot, or you get a cool shirt that's very, very weak. This is the perfect in-between, and I highly recommend. And again, like I said, I'm not getting paid to say that. These are just amazing shirts, and as you guys know, I love to tell you guys about amazing things that I use in my day-to-day work. And so guys, if you got some value from this, make sure you share with your friends. Maybe you got a son, a daughter, cousin, friend, somebody you know that might be interested in getting into the trades. I know this is a very weird time in our country with the COVID-19 going on, but it is never a better time to get started in the trades. Even if colleges and schools are getting delayed, work doesn't stop with us, and we are continuing to truck forward with all trades across the board. I'm sure a great contractor would love to have you aboard to start you on your apprenticeship and start you on the path to your new, better life. So guys, please share. We do this for free for you guys to provide value for you, because someone had done it for me. And so now here I am paying it forward to you guys. So I ask that you please do the same for me. And guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe below, and so you can see more of our videos, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. And again, my name is Luke C. Marcotte. Welcome back to the Blue Collar Power Hour. Harlan, leave it alone. Oh, I'm sweating my nuggets off. coughing, bitch. Starting to sound like Obama talking. Whoa, easy now, boy.
Strong return.
Fuck yeah.